Hello and welcome, Singapore. It's the morning show with me, Kelly Latimer, and the best sister ever, Barbara.
It's Whacky Wednesdays, where we try our very best to get you through hump day with some good old belly laughs.
Get Active TV has you covered from morning till night with morning stretches and sweat sessions, lunchtime catch-ups, afternoon workouts, dinner inspiration, and evening wind downs.
And somewhere in between all of that, you get us. We love nothing more than to hear from you, and more importantly, throw some goodies in your direction with our daily giveaways.
Just throwing it out there. Just throw it out there. Okay, before we throw anything your way, we're going to get a quick look at the COVID-19 numbers updates. 528 new cases, but numbers down, but most importantly, in the Singaporean department, only 7 Singaporeans and PRs. This is the first time in a very long time that we have been below double digits. Fantastic work from all our Singaporeans who are really doing everything they can to keep us safe. We've got 2 work passes, 1 visit pass, so that brings our community cases to a total of 10, 7 work permit holders outside of the dormitories, and again, the bulk still happening in the dormitories with 511 cases. 83% linked to known clusters, which is a darn sight better than yesterday.
That's right. Now, BCA also announced yesterday that you can no longer exercise or walk your dogs if you live within a condo compound, because apparently it's getting a little bit too crowded with everyone walking their dogs. So you can pop outside your condo to go for a stroll with your dog, and so that they can do their business, or your cat if you walk your cat,
or your rabbit, or your gerbil, or your hamster, or whatever it is, whatever animal you are using as an excuse to get outside and get some exercise, do it outside in your neighborhood, not in your compound. And remember, if you are thinking of jumping in your car and driving somewhere to go do that, you got to walk around in your neighborhood only.
Only for the necessities. Speaking of travel,
yes.
So SMRT and Hope Technic have partnered up to convert 20 buses into COVID bus transporters.
That sounds pretty cool. So what do you mean, like?
Is
the whole thing in a hazmat suit?
Transformed them like what was that movie called?
Transformers?
They pulled a transformer on them. So there are separate compartments for the driver and for the passengers. The driver's compartment has 2 extra seats for a paramedic and an admin officer or whoever needs to be there. And they've got their own aircon system.
That's awesome, because I have seen a lot of the bus drivers driving with the windows down, but obviously they're still in that circulated air environment, sharing it with the rest of the passengers. So it's good to see that if we are using it as a vehicle to transport, especially our foreign workers and stuff like that, then at least we're keeping our frontliners even safer than before.
So they are coming up with a version 2,
yes,
which is going to involve a negative pressure system for the patient compartment and added protection that will be scrubbed and cleaned before being vented out. So another 30 of those are going to be added on, which is just absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
If you're interested in joining this, I mean, anyone with a Class 4 driving license can apply. You just need to get in contact with SMRT.
Wow, so shout out to all of our bus drivers, grab drivers, taxi drivers who have been volunteering so far to commit to being a frontliner. Thank you so much for your service, and the dedication that you have been putting out there to keep us safe really is very commendable.
That's right, and to reward you just a little bit, good things must be shared. We've got giveaways happening every single day. Now today,
it's all about being part of the Fit Fam.
That's right. We've got vouchers from local brand Kydra to be given away. We've got $20 vouchers, which takes a chunk off when it comes to retail therapy. Given that we can't go out and shop now, it's all about that online business. I'm not going to lie. I have been spending just a little bit because it makes you feel better.
Oh, it makes you feel better.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm supporting the local businesses.
That is true. That is true. Support local. Kydra is a homegrown local brand. Their stuff is super comfortable. And if you hadn't had a chance to try it yet, here is your opportunity.
That's right.
What do they have to do, Barbara?
All you need to do is like and share the Get Active TV Facebook page. Share the morning show onto your page. So you want to make sure that your profile is public. And just tell us, what's your favorite workout been on Get Active TV so far? I mean, we've got so many.
Yeah.
We've had like the boxing guys, the health athletic guys, you've got
yoga, Pilates,
stretches,
everything. Yeah, whatever you need, we have something for you. And we've even incorporated our seniors as well in our early risers.
That's
first thing in the morning. Couldn't get any easier.
Now, we are going to go for a little break, but when we come back, I'm going to be stretching it out like dancers do.
Oh dear.
show, I've swapped Kelly out for someone a little taller and a little bit more tan. I have with me the ever beautiful Adeline Stanley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You might have seen Adeline around. She's in these beautiful Changi Airport ads just casually with her leg all the way up there in a split. So Adeline is a professional dancer. You've been all around the world. Before we get into that and before we get into today's stretch, I went for one of your movement therapy workshops.
Yes, you did.
A couple of months ago. You know what? I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let the final choreo speak for itself. Try and spot me if you can. I was so done at this point. It's just like, this is great. I'm like, huh? Go ahead. Yep. Okay. So,
I like that it's just being replayed.
yeah. So there was that. It was great. I mean, we learned so much about our bodies, and whew, yeah, what a memory. So you run a lot of these workshops that revolve around movement therapy, and you're trying to encourage people who aren't necessarily dancers or have done dance before to join. Tell us a little bit about these movement therapy workshops.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, being a professional dancer is one thing and teaching dance is another. And for me, I'm all about just teaching non-dancers how to move, because I feel like that's the most important thing, to get in touch with the bodies, connecting your mind and your body. So movement therapy is really just based on dance improvisation, somatic practice. You know, it helps us to like de-stress, break down tension through 21st century living. Really just connect everything. Feeling nice and long.
And talk to me, before we get into it, a little bit about Inala. So Inala was this amazing performance that I didn't even get to catch because I wasn't in the country when it was here in Singapore. But you guys traveled all over. And how was that? How was being in Inala?
It's amazing. Like, there are actually no words. It's phenomenal. I got to perform for the British royal family, met Prince William and Kate.
Oh, what's up? Hanging out with the royals.
Touring the world, I guess, like that was, I mean, I never thought I would get that opportunity. I've seen parts of the world I never thought I would travel to, Russia, China. And just working with Grammy Award winning choir and singers, that's just a dream come true. I don't think I can ever get that again, but
wow.
It's really, yeah.
Ooh, okay, so I'm in a dress, but like I've got shorts on so I can still do this stretch. So we've seen how a non-dancer moves, with me as a prime example. But okay, maybe you can just guide us through how would someone engage in movement therapy at home who doesn't necessarily how to like move their body?
Cool. So I won't say stretch. Stretch is a big word for people. I feel like it's a bit intimidating.
Okay.
So let's just start with a bit of breath work, and then we'll slowly do some active movement and stretching, if that's cool.
I can do breath work. I can breathe. I do it on the daily.
Right.
All right.
Do you want me to face you?
We can do
diagonal.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. So we're just focusing, just 8 breaths. We're going to inhale, exhale to the right, inhale, exhale to the left. So just
like the
8
whole
times.
body?
Like the whole body, kind of. So don't think about going somewhere. I think it's just about melting, letting your body melt to the right.
Y'all can't see, but everyone in the studio is laughing at me. You can tell how awkward I am. Okay.
You know those like petrol kiosks, like those things?
Yeah.
You know, so if you inhale,
That's
it goes
me.
up.
Okay.
Exhale, just let everything loose on one side. That's it. Inhale, coming up.
I need to wipe the grit off my
Nice
face.
deep breath. Exhale to the left.
Oh, your whole body's okay.
Yeah, inhale. Exhale to the right.
Got some of the crew doing this
Inhale.
too.
Excellent. Exhale to the left. Just 4 more. Inhale.
If you're at home, you can join us. I'm
Join us.
relaxing.
Inhale, coming up. Fall where you would. That's it. Just relax your arms, relax your neck. 2 more. Exhale. Really important to inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good. And just finding a bigger stance.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep our legs straight. We'll rock our weight forward to the balls of our feet and then back to the heels. So just 8 times.
I feel like I'm super tense when I do this, but she's like so fluid. So I'm
2,
gonna try and relax a little bit more.
3, 4, very nice.
Oh,
5,
thanks.
6,
Got some validation right there.
7, and 8. And now we're gonna hinge from the hip just to stretch out a little bit of the hamstring. So right here, we're into our flat back. So energy out through the top of the head. So not the forehead because you're gonna break your neck. No, not really,
okay.
but the line's gonna be broken. So top of the head and tailbone. From here, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna bend our knees, and then we'll articulate our spine by rolling up. Nicely, shall we go back? Go back.
Sorry, can you just repeat that one more time?
From here,
the bent
our
knees.
tailbone's gonna come in.
Oh, tailbone.
And then let our body just rise again. So 4 times.
Oh, 4 times. Oh,
4
we can do it
times.
again. Okay.
With the breath.
Cool.
Inhale.
So we hinge.
Exhale, hinge. And then we bend our knees. Then we roll up through the spine, relaxing your chest while you do that. And twice more. That's it. Nice long hamstrings. And rolling up. Last one. Hinge. Bend your knees. Rolling up. Cool. Now bring it to hip width apart. Nice. We're gonna do some rolling down sequence, so it's not too intimidating.
Oh, is it? That's not intimidating? Cool, 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 cool.
So in the roll down and roll up, all you need to really think about is which part of your body initiates the movement, right? So in the rolling down, we're just gonna drop our head. Let the weight of your head take you down as far as you can. So yes, perfect. From here, we're gonna let our arms lead us up into a flat back.
You went down much further than I did. Okay. Arms up
So
into
arms
a flat.
up into a flat back.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's like
and
a.
arms down.
Oh, it's like a.
It's a little wave.
Pop.
We're gonna
Yay! Now
It
it's
builds-
working. This I can do.
Yes, and then
Okay.
so 4 of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
sure. Let's go.
So roll down.
3 more. Rolling down. Bring the arms nice, long and up. Excellent. Coming down. Twice more.
Look at me being all.
So this is amazing to do in the mornings, just to get our body ready and, ready for the day. Last one. In the last one, we're just going to leave our hands to come up because we're going to reverse the whole thing. So we're going to hinge down now, flat
Hinge
back,
down, flat back.
and then rolling up through the spine. Keep your legs straight. Excellent. 3 more. And rolling up.
Hope you guys are doing this at home as well. I'm feeling real
Yes,
fluid right now.
please. Last one.
I have a tendency to get overexcited and I completely forget what I'm trying to do.
Whee! Excellent. And shake
Hey!
it out.
Look at me being a dancer.
And usually in the class, I'll just get people to kind of just groove, just shake it out. No judgment. You're in your own bedroom. Just move.
No? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What next?
What next? We can open and close our chest. So this one is, again, breath work. So we're going to walk diagonally, kind of rock our body to the front and rock back. Good. So this is going to be the feet, the pattern of the feet. And then we're going to change, ball change, and go to the left. So that's what the feet's going to do.
Oh.
And the legs.
Oh, we're
So
doing-
now we're going to coordinate. So now we're going to do upper body. So
Okay,
we're
cool.
going to inhale, open. Exhale, contract through the chest.
You do that again? Yeah.
Here.
And here.
Inhale, exhale. Whew. Last one. Inhale.
All right, I've got to breathe. Okay.
Exhale. And changing legs. Changing direction. Sorry. And we go inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Just 3 times.
I'm very aware that I am now. I look a bit silly on national TV, but it's all good as long as you're having fun at home. Okay.
Yeah, so we actually go through 7 different states of tension and movements.
Okay.
So if you come for the class, you know this.
Well, okay, so just by doing those, I actually feel like my joints are a little bit warm. I haven't quite broken a sweat, but my joints are warmer. I do feel a little bit more relaxed, less stiff in the body, which is great. So, okay, speaking of your classes, you've just started a whole course?
Yeah, like a movement course, an online movement course, because we're all social distancing, it's no studios.
So it's 22 sessions for $22 each, which is so cheap for the quality of professionalism that you're getting. And this happens how many times a week do people go for this?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
1 hour each session.
1 hour each session. And so what is it, Tuesdays and
Fridays, 7 to 8.
Okay, so it's a nice evening slot after people have finished with work, because even though we're working from home, you still got to get stuff done.
You probably sat down all day, so you kind of need to move, get your body moving.
Oh, that's so nice. And you do it from home?
Yes.
with
The
you've
setup is a struggle, but
started doing these 10 for 10, 10 at 10.
10 at 10. So it's a 10-minute groove session at 10 a.m. every morning. It's on like Instagram Live. So you go onto my profile every day at 10.
And then you're just
catch me there,
jamming.
just moving on my balcony, kind of to any song.
Oh, that's cute.
So that one's not a class. I just
Clearly
have to,
not happening today though, because we got her in the studio.
Just a disclaimer, it's not a class, that one. It's just an invitation for you guys to join, because I think social media has its barriers and, people feel so judged all the time. So I'm not asking you to do live yourself, but it's just to join me and just moving the body with no judgment.
Jam along with it. I always feel so fluid when I'm with Adeline. It's just a nice feeling. Cool. Well, and you also do personal training, right?
I do.
So one-on-one, like
Coaching,
web sessions.
Web sessions.
For dance, for fitness, for
dance mostly.
Okay.
So whether you want to go into vocational training to become a professional dancer, or even if it's just you want to sleep better, or just do yoga better, or cycle better, and just being more confident in the body. I think that's what is the main goal.
Cool. And look, it doesn't matter if you turn out like how I did on that video. I had a lot of fun, and that's the main important thing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. So glad that you could come on and guide me through that stretch. I'm feeling 50 shades of fluid right now. We're gonna pop off for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be teleporting to catch up with Esther in the Netherlands.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always sinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello and welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Now our next guest for today couldn't come into the studio, not because she's at home during our circuit breaker, but more like it's a little bit difficult to hop on a flight.
From the Netherlands.
Yeah. Welcome, Esther. Thank you for joining us here on today's show. How are you?
I'm doing good. Because spring arrived, so everybody is just quite happy at home, enjoying the sunshine from home.
I was going to say, are you actually getting to enjoy it, or are you in the Netherlands a bit like how we are stuck at home in circuit breaker?
Yeah, we also have some lockdown measures. The thing is, we have a little balcony outside our apartment, so we're quite blessed to be able to just sit there and enjoy the sunshine. And also, like, even though we cannot go outside as much as before, we realize that it really helps you to not take these things for granted. You know, just the fact that you can sit on a chair outside on your small little balcony and get sunshine, that's good enough. That's something to appreciate.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, why you're in the Netherlands, how is it?
So I came to the Netherlands 2.5 years ago because my husband found a job here, and we thought, okay, maybe it's time to search for a new life, open a new chapter. Previously, I used to be an actress and musician in Singapore, but
So that's why
things
some
were
people would
great.
find you familiar, right? Because you've also been in Marco Polo,
Yeah.
used to sing, and like you also won Best Actress for a movie that
Little
you
Birdie
did.
told us about that.
Yeah.
Tell us a
that was
little bit
cool.
about that.
That was pretty unexpected. So I met the director, Nicolas Pacheco, at NYU Tisch, Singapore, and he wanted to do this feature film for his end of year assignment. And we did it very quickly at a very low budget in just 1 week. And then a few years later, he submitted it for the 2 film festivals back home, back at his home in Costa Rica. And surprisingly, I won.
I was going to
Best
say, you
Actress.
didn't just win one film festival, you won 2. You won
Yeah.
both the Costa Rica Film Festival and the Film Icaro Film Festival in 2014, which is pretty
Yeah.
insane.
It was insane because I woke up one morning. I mean, this was I think 3 years after the movie was done. So I completely forgot about it, And then suddenly I get a call and say, "Good morning, you just won Best Actress at the Costa Rican Film Festival." I'm like, "What?" And then I had Costa Rican reporters messaging me on Facebook wanting to interview me for the national newspaper. I was like, "What? What is
That
this?"
is so
It was
cool.
pretty cool.
Did you have to fly over there or something to collect your award, or was it all just done virtually and they were like, "Hey, good job, well done"?
Yeah, basically the latter. I don't think they had the budget to fly me over. So.
Oh, it would have been such an experience, though.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was a tiny little pat on the back, a little bit of validation for all the hard work. So it was
And
nice.
did much change for you after you'd gotten that award?
I guess it gave me a little bit more cred, I suppose. But interestingly, I realized that despite all these little milestones and all that, I still remain fundamentally me. I don't really think that much has changed. I'm still me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So nothing changed even after you did like Marco Polo, which was a huge resounding success here as well.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting. It was very interesting because before Marco Polo, I would say I always had been more of a low-key person, quite the underdog, and just, I was just a happy working actress doing whatever came my way. And then Marco Polo came, and suddenly, 8 days wanted to interview me, this wanted to interview me, and getting to meet all these international stars, it was, I don't know, a part of me always felt like I wasn't really ready for that. I always felt very strange, like a fish out of water, because I've always been so comfortable being low, you know?
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you do now in the Netherlands. You teach, right?
Netherlands.
Yeah, I teach full time. I have my own little singing establishment called Heart and Soul Singing. And I formed a very nice, cozy community. So in Dutch, there's this word called gezellig, which literally translated to English means a warm and cozy feeling that you feel in your heart when you're with the right group of people.
Wow. Safe
It's like
distancing.
me when I'm with you.
Except safe distance.
My heart.
But was it hard for you to adapt? I mean, going over there, did you have to learn how to speak Dutch, or is everything in English for you?
Everything's in English because Dutch people, it's mandatory for the Dutch to start learning English as a full-on second language from the ages of 10. So everybody can speak very good English here.
Oh.
And also, when they hear you struggling in Dutch, they would immediately swap to English. So it's quite difficult to practice the language here as well. And also Dutch is a very difficult language to pronounce.
Yeah, it doesn't sound easy at all. There's a lot of like
Guttural.
hacking going on.
Okay, so as a Singaporean overseas then, how has COVID affected you in terms of your family? I mean, was there any urge or desire for you to come back home and be with your family here?
Well, actually, we were supposed to go back in February for my best friend's wedding. But I think that was when COVID first arrived in Singapore.
Yeah.
And at that time, over here, we're like, oh, if you fly to Singapore, then you need to quarantine yourself for 14 days before you start work back here in Europe. So we thought, okay, maybe we shouldn't take that risk, and it's just not worth it if we have to quarantine ourselves for so long after that. And so I had to miss my best friend's wedding. But it's so ironic because then it became really, really bad in Europe and not so bad in Singapore.
It was funny how quickly the tables turned, and Singapore went from being the bad guy globally to like, oh, actually their numbers are really small in comparison. Like, but I think that was always going to be a problem with Europe, and I think we saw that quite quickly with how fast it spread throughout, going from Italy and then obviously spreading throughout. But your family, are they okay? How have you been keeping in touch?
Through Skype. Yeah, they're okay. My mom, she has started painting at home, so that's very nice. She sends me
Barbara
pictures
tried
of
painting this week.
It
didn't go so well.
Can we stop talking about this? Brought it up every day at every chance.
Sure.
You don't want to see it. Yeah. So your mom started painting.
Yeah, and that's lovely. And also, I send my best friends care packages just to make them feel like, they're not forgotten, we're still friends, and that this lockdown, the distance will not keep us apart.
And I feel like now with this lockdown situation kind of globally, you and your friends are keeping in touch a little bit more than you used to?
Yes, absolutely. I think everybody is just craving for human connection, So I actually just spent my birthday at home.
Oh, happy birthday.
April.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. And it did not at all feel like a birthday in isolation.
Yeah.
Because I think like a lot of people were just making more efforts to make me feel loved. So my best friends actually ordered special delivery for fine dining to my place.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it didn't at all feel like you're in Singapore, I'm here, there's no way we can show love. No. With the wonders of technology, anything can happen.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think it's really nice to hear from Singaporeans overseas, just because like sometimes you're a voice that often gets lost amongst everything else. We get so tied up in what's happening on our shores, forgetting that actually there are lots of people who haven't come home that we still need to reach out to. So thank you for sharing and just being so open with how you're dealing with everything over there, and hopefully you'll be able to come home soon, see your best friend, see your mom, and who knows, you can come on the show,
Hopefully there'll be no circuit breaker at that point, therefore you can come on the show with your mom.
Yeah. That would be nice. Just before we go, do you have any messages that you want to send to your friends or your family?
This is all going to be over soon, and we just all have to keep really positive, open-hearted, and if anything, this is a learning opportunity for all of us. We can only grow from this, and don't let the negativity consume our minds so much.
Amazing. All right, once again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
We're going to go for a quick break, but we've got lots more stuff coming your way.
Step right up, draw the next card. You water the plant, we're animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Not a long time to get along. Always sing.
Welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Apologies there for the internet. I think it was just having a bit of a day, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So the syncing was a little bit off there. But you know what is even better is when we can actually get a guest in studio. So we've still got safe distance between us. But ladies and gents, welcome Allan Wu. Allan, thanks so much for coming in and joining us on this Whacky Wednesday. I mean, who better to have than someone who's absolutely wacky about fitness?
Exactly. It's great to be here. It's great to be out. I didn't know there was anything being filmed at this point, though, too. So this is a very, very pleasant relief to be here.
It's just nice to actually see other people.
It is, without masks on, to see all of you.
Yeah, I know.
It's
like, it's
fantastic.
really weird. It's like, unless you have that smize going on, like a really good smize, you can't actually tell if someone's just like giving you an evil eye or actually smiling at you behind a mask.
Exactly.
It's bad. Okay, so how's COVID been treating you?
It's been all right, actually. I think, I mean, there are moments, I think, where you might be a little bit bored. You might be wondering what to do. But I think this is a good time for everyone to kind of like maybe take a step back, take care of their family. But I think even more importantly, get active and stay fit or get in shape. I think there's a lot of opportunities here at home. I think as we go into a situation like this with this pandemic, it's a good time for people to kind of refocus and recalibrate themselves and focus on what's important for them. I think during times like this, from an economic standpoint, and I think also from an overall standpoint, I think we will never, ever stop, I think, investing in our children. I think people are realizing we won't want to stop investing in our health, in our fitness too. So it's been fun. I've had a lot of fun trying to devise ways to keep myself busy and somewhat maintain a semblance of being fit. And it's been fun. I think we're very, very lucky to be in a age of social media, of Wi-Fi, where we can stay connected, maybe not physically, but I think online still be connected with the world.
Now, you, my husband, and a few other people like Yui, one of our race car drivers here in Singapore, you're all doing this plus 10 challenge. Tell us a little bit about that.
That is actually pretty exciting. I think I've always, since a young age, has always been into sports. And I think, but a lot of times as we get older, people get they get caught up raising their children, they get caught up with work, with their social engagement. So I figured this is a good time for us to kind of like maybe take a step back and do something that's very easy to do at home. Everyone's very, very familiar with the push-ups. So I thought, I see a lot of in home workouts, where you can do maybe Tabata or you can do a HIIT workout where you do maybe 10 or 20 different exercises. But I think for me, and I think for some of these guys and even girls too, the push-up is probably one of the best universal exercises to just help build or maintain, I think, your upper body strength without using any equipment. So I thought we could continue to do maybe 10, 20 push-ups every day, but I thought, why don't we do this challenge where we push ourselves every day out of that comfort zone to, stay in shape, but maybe even get strong along the way. So I decided to just have this little fun challenge called the Plus 10 Challenge. And it's been great to see the response with friends, with other celebrities, with fitness, I think fanatics, and also with people that normally don't work out. So it's been a great way, I think a great opportunity for everyone to kind of, give it a shot. In the beginning, it was obviously quite easy, maybe just 10 push-ups, but every single day from there, we've been adding 10 push-ups. And today,
what are you at now?
We are at 220 now.
220. Okay, so when circuit breaker got extended, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
Yeah, I think we're planning on, the goal original was to just go to 300 push-ups for one day and then stop there. And then the CB got extended and I started getting these messages. Everyone's like, are we gonna keep on going? Are we gonna keep on going? That would be about 550 to 600 push-ups in one day. And I was like, I mean, realistically, we could do it, but I think for a lot of people, I mean, for the hardcore people like your husband, like Justin, like we're going all the way to 550. But I'm thinking we have to also take into consideration everyone else that wants to do it too. So at this point, I'm thinking if we want, we can still do these push-ups all the way to 550 or 600. But I think it'd be nice to maybe balance it with a lower body type of move. So maybe we'll continue it. But then I'm thinking you can either like break it up into push-ups or maybe jump squats. So that way you could do 100 jump squats.
That sounds way worse. 100 jump squats sounds awful.
Yes.
But I guess if you break it down, so if you were to do 550 push-ups, every half an hour for 10 hours, you could do 25 push-ups.
You could.
Right? That would 50 times, oh no, you'd need to do 11 hours. Okay, yeah. 11 hours of every half an hour you do 25 push-ups. That sounds like torture.
It's actually about 5 hours. Yeah, it's 25 every half an hour. That's 50 each. Yeah, that is 10 hours. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I would try and do, I think for some people, they see some of us doing it, and we can get it done maybe in less than 10 minutes.
Yep.
All of it, right? But then for others, even some of our friends that aren't I think they haven't been doing that many push-ups in the beginning, you can just break it up starting up in the morning and then working your way up to It depends, I guess, on your fitness level. If you can do a lot at once and get it done, but if it takes more time, then just you have all day. You have 24 hours. You can wake up in the middle of the night and do it if you want.
Oh,
You know.
that doesn't sound like a nice prospect at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so fitness aside, then let's talk a little bit about work. Obviously, you're in the entertainment industry. You host events, you host TV shows. All of that has essentially been shut down. What's work looking like for you at the moment?
Work is honestly quite bleak right now. I think in terms of actually hosting events, any large engagements, I think, as you know too, everything's been pretty much wiped off the map. And
Trust me, I know.
honestly, I do not know when it's going to come back too. It'll be a lot longer. Even when we start reopening up, I think the economy, different, I think, sectors in the industry, it'll be a long time, I think, before we start doing D&Ds, product launches, you know, I think events of that scale. So that's one, I think, consideration we have to kind of like think about. But I think, luckily, I think there's social media, so there's still a chance to stay in contact with clients, with our followers, with people that seek advice or are inspired, I think, too. So hopefully companies, as they start opening up their marketing budgets, right now a lot of companies in retail, F&B and everything too, have frozen their marketing budgets too. So they don't even have the budget, you know, to market their products because one, people can't really buy anything. They can't really go into stores and get it unless it's online, I think, though, too. So a lot of companies now are actually, I think, exploring e-commerce too. Even luxury brands, you know, are looking at developing an e-commerce online platform. I think too, just make sure they can get access, so people can get access to their products. So for me, I think it's right now. Obviously, there's no excuse for me. I think to just kind of do this +10 challenge to work out, stay in shape, but also. Some of my products are in China also. So right now, China's opened up.
Yeah,
you know,
I was going to say,
started
Chad,
working.
they've started going back to school. They're actually continuing life, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty much almost, I wouldn't say as per normal. Obviously, they're still a little bit vigilant, I think, in terms of outbreaks. But the problem with China right now is they're not letting any foreigners in. And I have a project that probably might hopefully be happening as soon as June. Ooh. But, you know, the problem is even if I am allowed in there, there might be a 14-day quarantine. So not only do we have to take into consideration the work there, it's also these quarantines. Anytime we travel now, it's a huge question mark. So a lot of, you know, there's a lot of gray areas, a lot of questions to be answered, I think, in the weeks and the months to come. But hopefully this will all pass, you know, I think, for everyone, and everyone comes out of it better.
And how are the kids handling it?
Kids are great. They're doing well. I think right now, they go to international school, so they're doing all the home-based learning right now. I think the kids in general are a little bit bored. So I think it's up to each child's, I think, personality. I think to try and stay, I think, you know, on top of their schoolwork, and even more importantly for me, to stay active and to stay fit. It's been hard for me because they stay with their mother, so I don't see them as much, and we're trying to, I think, respect and abide by the laws, so I don't spend that much time with them. But I know they're going out there, going their own little runs. Running is probably, yeah, it's great.
They're active kids as well, which is great to see.
They're very, very active.
So if people want to follow the challenge, it's just the hashtag +10 challenge.
That's all it is, yeah.
Check out the Instagram page. Alan, thank you so much for sharing. I want to get you to drop down and just do 10 right now. Come on.
Drop down and do 10?
Drop down and start adding to your 10 whilst I throw to a break. Thank you so much for joining us, Alan. Whilst he does that, we're going to go for a short break. And when we return, it'll be Cheryl Low breaking it down on how you can skip and look cool. Don't go anywhere. Good job.
All right. Thank you.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else.
don't forget we've got $20 Kydra vouchers to be given away. So hurry, like and share the morning show on Facebook and tell us what's been your favorite workout on Get Active TV so far.
Now, given that we should be avoiding going out as much as possible, there aren't that many ways that we can get that same type of gentle cardio in as you do for running and jogging. So earlier on today, our resident skipping sensation broke down her niche just for us, and you can even do it without a rope. Welcome back to Break It Down here on The Morning Show. We've got Cheryl Low with us this week. She's been in breaking down all these different body weight exercises for us. Now, Cheryl is just known for her being a skipping sensation. I think we shot some stuff before, and she's absolutely insane. She's got like the ropes just going everywhere and just twirling around. But today, because skipping is something that you can do at home, you don't have to go out, but it's a really good form of cardio. It's really good for warming up as well. You just need to make sure that you don't hit the ceiling fan or anyone else in your vicinity. But we're going to break that down. How to skip.
Yeah, that's actually basically what we're going to be doing today is breaking down the movement, just regular skipping, not the fanciful ropes going around stuff today, just basic technique on skipping.
Oh.
Yeah, just the basic technique on skipping. So a lot of people have asked about, I keep making mistakes, what am I doing wrong? I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I just keep making mistakes.
Catching on my foot,
I just decide not to do it all. Yeah, so
I got
we
whip
don't.
marks on my legs, I got whip marks on my arms.
Yeah, so it's actually quite a bit of technique involved, simple things to take note of, and then you will be able to put it into practice, and you'll be able to do like string up 50 skips in a row. Yeah, and it's actually, like you said, it's a very good cardio or calorie burn exercise. And instead of going out for a run, you can just find a space just big enough for your rope to go around.
Because we're supposed to stay at home. Okay, so what if in the event, given that pretty much everything is sold out at Decathlon nowadays, let's be honest, I don't have a skipping rope at home?
You can just use 2 pens or markers. We have them over here.
Magically.
Yeah.
I got 2 pens here.
So imagine you're holding on to the handles of a skipping rope. So you know, like the term shadow boxing. It's like shadow skipping. But before we start that, we're gonna be talking about how we are working on your arms, hands positioning.
Okay.
And then you can practice without, if let's say you don't have a rope at home, you can practice without a rope. Yeah, so for skipping, regular skipping itself, you want to make sure your elbows are tight in towards your waist, instead of, because most people they start like that, and then the moment you start skipping, the hands go out. Like they're just flapping around with the whole
Like
arm.
super wide.
Yeah. This shortens the rope a lot, and you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. But the problem is we don't usually see it ourselves. If let's say you're skipping on your own, you don't get to see it on your by yourself. So you can put a video or you video yourself in front, and then you get to review after. That's how you learn actually.
Quick question before we actually get into the movement itself. I think something that a lot of people have trouble with is, what height should my skipping rope be? Like, is it too long? Is it too short?
Yeah.
Like, how do I know what's the right height for a rope for me?
Yeah, that's a good one. So before we even start anything, the rope itself, it has to be, let's say, armpit level or chest level. But for me, usually, it really depends. I don't really like to use the gauge of your armpit, because everyone holds their rope differently. And then depending on your body and the hands position, your rope length has to be different.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually I just estimate with maybe the chest and the armpit level. That's it. So you don't look at these 2 things sticking out. That's just the excess.
So boob height.
Yeah, boob height.
Top of boob to bottom of boob. Okay, cool. I mean, ladies, that's a good gauge.
So for this one, this is a good gauge when you step 2 feet on the rope actually. So this is a good gauge. But I usually like to start by skipping a few times to try out the length itself, because everyone turns differently, and the length itself, it should be about 1 headroom space on top.
Okay, so you don't want it to be like braids in your ponytail. Okay.
Yeah, correct. And then you don't want it too long as well, because if it's too long, it's going to hit the ground too hard and it rebounds, and that's why it keeps tripping on your feet. Yeah, so it has to be just nice.
Science,
Yeah.
guys. Science.
So yeah, so when you jump a few times, you won't be able to see it unless you have a mirror right in front of you. But you can take a video and then just a few seconds just to check.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've got the length sorted out, you know how to adjust your rope. I mean, you can always tie a knot in it if it's too long, just on the edges. Cool. And then next one, step 2.
Step 2, so just going straight into the regular skipping. When you see the rope coming down in front of you, go for it, do that hop. But the main thing is when you're turning the rope, turn with your wrist. The first turn is always the biggest turn where you move the whole arm. But then after the first turn, you want to make sure it's wrist movement. See how my wrist is just my wrist moving. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, there's very minimal
This is
movement
like-
in the elbows.
Yeah.
You just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, just roll with it, just
Roll
using
with
the wrist. And I think a lot of people are used to holding weights like dumbbells, and then they think that this is, because you're doing an exercise, you tense up the whole thing. You just tense up the whole thing. It's not as smooth. So you want to relax. It's actually a very light equipment.
It's a light movement.
You just relax, go with the flow. Turn the wrist, and stay light on the feet. And the trick to lasting longer and skipping is actually keeping your core tight.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Okay.
most of the time when we jump, when we relax, there's a jumping downwards movement where there's a lot of energy absorbed into the ground. So you want
So
to
very
have
much
tight.
like boxing, you want to be light and
Yeah.
grounded at the same time
Yeah.
and engaged. Right. Multitasking at its finest. Cool. So next thing I want to ask is feet. Okay, so obviously you've got your jump. You want to be nice and soft in your knees.
Yep.
Heels off the ground.
Heels off the ground, yes.
Okay.
So as much as possible, heels off the ground.
So you're letting your knees absorb that weight. So
Yep.
no big pressure on your knees. Try not to thud down. Okay, double leg versus single leg. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started skipping, I could only do double legs, and they're like, oh, you're gonna get tired so easily
Yeah,
do single
correct.
legs, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, so the double leg is very tiring, actually. So
Yeah.
most people think that if you go single leg, it looks more tiring, but actually that is the way to last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they call it boxer steps, right? So it's actually to give your one side, the calves, a rest, and then switch over. So you just keep hopping around instead of strictly 2 feet together. Yeah. So
And let's say before the rope comes into play, with my pens,
Yep.
how can I practice that to make sure I'm kind of like getting the movement and the rhythm down?
with the hands,
Is it just shifting the weight?
you're talking about the boxer steps right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, just shifting the weight. You imagine you're standing on one leg, standing on other leg. So that's how you're gonna be switching. Same. Yeah,
Okay.
Same way.
And then you can start to like mix it up, show
Just
off your socks.
So the good thing is without a rope, you will never be making any mistakes at
I'm
all.
not going to trip over it. So that's not a bad thing, to be fair. Okay, so then of course, building up from that, you have obviously your different types of stuff. And I'm sure people can check out Cheryl's Instagram for rope inspirations, like your high knees, your jump steps, and swinging it all around the place. But thank you so much for joining us for our skipping rope Break It Down. If you're starting to pick up skipping as well and working out from home, tag us. We want to see all your technique-driven stuff. We've got more stuff coming up a little bit later on. See you then.
Without a rope, because A, it means I don't break anything in the house, and B, it means I don't trip over, make mistakes, or give myself whiplash on the back of my calves. Anyway, we're going to head off for a quick break, but stay with us here on The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the pack, we're animals, so get along with everybody.
And welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the morning show.
Sticking it out with us here on the morning show. I've learned how to be a graceful dancer-ish, sort of. We use the dance quite...
Yeah, when she says dance, we use that term quite loosely. We also had a great chat with Esther to learn a little bit more about life in the Netherlands at this point in time. And
I nailed my skipping skills.
yes, you did. You absolutely did. And Allan was +10 challenge. If you haven't jumped on that bandwagon yet, it's not too late. You don't have to start at 220. You can always start from the beginning. Start with 10 today, do another 10 tomorrow, and then another 10 after that. Barbara, I think we should start.
Huh?
I think we should start. Yeah, okay. We're going to start doing push-ups, and we will keep you posted on our progress.
I don't think I agreed to that one.
You can follow
Kelly
the
can do
progress on the hashtag +10.
You can follow her progress.
Make sure you join us tomorrow. What's coming up, Barbara?
We've got lots of stuff. So earlier on in the week, we had Brad Robinson, the owner of Ritual, come in. So tomorrow we've got Shrek, one of his trainers, going to work on some mobility work.
And we've also got Tough Nut Thursday, bringing us physical and mental endurance in these times. And not forgetting Watch Cooking at 4 p.m. for all the dinner inspiration you need. That's it from us today, but we will see you tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back on Friday as well. No public holiday for us. We're going to be keeping you company all the way through the week, every day, same time, same place, 10 a.m. on Get Active TV.
Which means that you can stay safe, stay strong, and stay at home.